absolutely fucked as farmers, guys. Everything is so fucked, and I do not see anybody surviving this farm crisis that we're in. Guys, look, one of the best splorn crops that I have ever raised in my life. And because of the tariffs, China will not fucking buy it. And they are the only country in the world other than, well, they are the only country in the world that buys.
Hey guys, do not fall for this guy's video that is going around. A lot of people who do not understand farming or don't understand like the terminology of farming are getting duped by this man's video. This is a rage baiter who voted for MAGA, who has zero empathy for what is happening to his fellow farmers. This man himself, no, he's not suffering. He runs cows. He also grows corn and sorghum. When he started his video out by saying his crop is splorn, that is like a rage bait, like that's doesn't exist. What he's doing is merging the word sorghum and then corn together, again, because this is rage bait. What this man is doing is he's got a sorghum out there that he plans to chop up and essentially turn into cow feed. He's going to do the same thing with the corn stalks after he sells the ears of corn from that crop. This is a rage bait video, but I do want to highlight the fact that this man is coming out here making rage bait videos about Donald Trump, who is actively bankrupting his fellow farmers right now instead of supporting his fellow farmers. And I just want to let you know that this is the lengths that MAGA will go to protect and to blindly continue to follow Donald Trump. They never will care until it affects him. He is looking across the street at his fellow soybean farmer absolutely fail and on the verge of filing bankruptcy because China is not buying the soybean crops. But because he himself is not growing soybeans, it's not affecting him, so he doesn't give a fuck. So he's just going to rage bait and be ridiculous. It just is a testament to how immature these people are and how much they will never care until it affects them. My name is Mercedes Chandler. Give me a follow or you won't see my face again. Thank you. Goodbye.
Breaking news. MAGA farmers across the United States are crying and complaining about the Chinese not buying their products. What? Yes. The MAGA farmers across the United States are complaining. Those that grow soybeans, beef, pork, wheat, corn, fruit, and vegetables, dairy, are all complaining. I think they're whining. I think they want to bail out. What do you all think? I don't think bail them out. I think F around and find out. FAFO, yes, sir. It is estimated that the Chinese now have canceled 26 billion with a B, dollars of contracts that they were going to purchase from U.S. farmers. They're not going to purchase from U.S. farmers now. They're purchasing it from the Russians, from Central and South America countries, and from Canada to fill the needs that the United States farmers would have provided. But because of Donald Trump's tariffs, it's not going to happen now. So you know what? You voted for him. You get the tariffs. He told you he was going to do the tariffs. We are not going to use our tax dollars to bail them out. No. They use the tax dollars to bail out the rich, and I'm opposed to it. What do you think? Bail out these MAGA farmers that voted for Trump? I say, you know what? You lay down with dogs, you get up with fleas. You voted for him. You voted for it. He told you he's going to do it. Now you get to suffer the consequences. FAFO. No bailout for any of these whining farmers that voted the wrong way. Suffer the consequences. Love to know what my Democrats, my MAGAs, my crazies, my cuckoos, and my burned out light bulbs. No bailouts. Period.
So that's what we got for American farmers, is zero empathy. We want them to fail. That's what you're saying out there. That's what Americans are saying right now is, well, you know, next time you'll vote the right way, or that's what you get for who you voted for. That to me, I want to say it doesn't sound very American of people, but here lately, that's all we're doing is complaining.
Okay, this is for MAGA supporting farmers, which is the most of them, the majority of them. This is not what's happening. If you pay attention to all your right-wing media, including Fox News, we on the left have been showing you empathy by trying to scream, this is happening. This is going to happen to farmers. We did it before you elected him, and we've been doing it after he was elected. I can't tell you how many videos I personally made after you elected Trump, where you are being destroyed. That's what empathy is. And it's not a lack of empathy when we just want to stay out of the way of letting the consequences of your actions take root. You're asking us as taxpayers to bail you out. We were bailing you out through U.S. aid and so many other Democratic funded programs. And we were happy to do that. We want those back. I don't see one MAGA supporter demanding that U.S. aid be funded again, because that's what kept a lot of you guys afloat. We on the left have been screaming for that. But if you want to talk about a lack of empathy, it's not going over our heads that you had no empathy whatsoever for our LGBTQ community and what was going to happen to them if you won your election. You had no empathy for transgender people, and those include kids with families who love themselves, each other, families, tight families, going through a hardship like you guys are as farmers. You didn't show empathy for them. You didn't show empathy for women who are being pushed now into this purity culture and this Charlie Kirk warped vision of making us just baby-making machines. You showed no empathy for brown-skinned people trying to earn a living, being thrown to the ground and beat up and kept in for-profit prisons that are benefiting Republican donors. You showed no empathy for any of them. But you're going to come on here in your high fucking horse and tell us we're the ones that don't show empathy. I want you to show one right-wing news source or content creators, Charlie Kirk, any of them, that have been talking the way we have about how farmers are being impacted by the Trump administration. Find one, and I will stand corrected. You're going to find nothing but those of us, the libtards, who've been fighting for your asses.
Hey MAGA, you know all those jobs that you guys were complaining about that immigrants are taking? Yeah, they need you now. Those farmers, they need you. There are so many videos going around now of vegetables and fruits being left behind, molding, rotten, and it's because no one is going to pick it. No one's helping out. You white MAGA supporters were so upset that these hardworking immigrants were doing the jobs that you did not want to do. Well, here's your chance. Here is your time to shine, MAGA men, MAGA women. Come on. Dios míos, chingaligárame. Dios ayude a America.
So I had a moment where I feel it's terrible that people are losing something, you know, for generations you farmed, and yeah, you're going to lose your farm and stuff, but you're right, they are mega voters. They have now said, Jesus, take the wheel. However, they voted for exactly what they're getting. He told them what he was going to do. Told them they were going to get rid of their cheap labor. That's what they did. They started arresting them. He said he was going to tariff. He did. And now look. And I'm not sure, but I think that he also mentioned that, you know, we're going to look after Americans first and not other countries. So there was the aid cutoff. Not one moment did they consider that they had contracts. And if you vote for that level of cruelty, selfishness, and you think it is not going to impact you, and for a billionaire that clearly has got a record of doing people in. Yeah, so maybe they're getting exactly what they voted for.
Check out how Trump's policies are destroying these red state farmers who voted for him, and we're going to be right back.
Now, I've never been as worried as I am now about whether or not my kids and grandkids will be able to carry on.
He said, I love you. Mr. Trump, I need to see the fruit of your love.
5 of my customers have committed. That's how serious that this is.
And what it costs for us to farm is astronomical now.
I farm with paid-for equipment. All my tractors are 50 years old, and I can't hardly make this deal work. I think the tariffs are the ice cream on the cake of a perfect storm. After a horrible year last year where most farmers in Arkansas Delta lost money, this year's going to be worse.
So my son will not be the seventh generation on our farm.
We're going to lose 25 or 30% of the farmers in this country if they don't do something. It has to be done, and it's not just here. It's everywhere.
Now, a lot of my liberal followers are understandably, justifiably like, well, F around and find out. But that's a little too simple for my journalistic standards. There's something deeper going on here. Because if you have a historical understanding of how propaganda works on the human mind, I think everybody who's getting messed over by these Trump policies in red states who voted for him needs to start by suing right-wing media companies for radicalizing them into doing things that are against their best interests and echo chambering them out of the information that could have them more critical about his policies. I'll reiterate, if you ain't got the bandwidth to feel nothing for these people after what they done, I feel you. But low-key, high-key, this is tragic, yo. Because even as late as May, a survey by the Purdue company of like 400 farmers showed that 70% of them still believe that Trump's tariffs is going to have some kind of positive benefit for them. Remember that slew of executive orders that Donald Trump was just signing earlier on in the year? Well, it caused so much bureaucratic instability that it made the USDA pause funding for over 30,000 farmers in the United States. That was strike one. Strike two for the farmers was when Doge came in and gutted USAID. Everybody was like, oh, that's just a front for the CIA across the world. Maybe, but also it created automatic buyers all across the world for American-grown wheat and corn and anything that could bridge the gap for starvation. That's gone. Strike three was the deportations. These farmers literally voted for Trump to steal their workers and wonder why ain't no work getting done when all of these compounding factors are crushing them. Strike four, which is more than you're supposed to have, is what? The dude said it. The tariffs. He said it's the icing on the cake. We tried to tell y'all that it's Americans who pay the tariffs. Y'all didn't listen, so listen to these farmers. You know what's ironic? A lot of these farmers were dead silent or complicit in black farmers getting screwed over for decades by not only their peers, but by the USDA. So bad that they had to win lawsuit after lawsuit in the billions of dollars to get claims and damages done. And still the USDA was slow with paying them out. Had they not been so racist, they'd have had a larger coalition to argue for what they need. And what's even deeper is that a lot of these farmers' ancestors were given this land in the Homesteading Act of 1862, when freshly stolen land from Native Americans was given to European peasants for pennies on the dollar. We're talking about 1/10 of the U.S. landmass. The term chickens coming home to roost is a farming colloquialism that applies here with a ruthless poetic irony. I can't even really get myself to celebrate over this because I'm looking at how the sins of the father cascade down to the generations, how these farmers inherited not only land, but a culture from their forebearers that allowed them to be prime targets for propaganda like this. The only positive way that I could look at this is possibly a new beginning in disguise. Because if we're going to have an America that works for everybody, it's going to take these folks getting disappointed in this way to let this all burn down, metaphorically speaking, and plant new seeds for the future. That's just my take on it. What y'all feel? My name is Theo E.J. Wilson. Like, follow, and share this message out if you feel it. Holla back.
This heartfelt message goes out to the farmers who are having a hard time right now because they voted for Trump and Republicans. In 2026, don't.
I know goddamn good and well we're not about to write some fucking socialist checks to all these MAGA farmers complaining about how they're about to lose everything as a direct result of their own fucking actions. Is that really where we are right now? So you voted the way that you did out of bigotry and racism, hatred, blind fucking ignorance, sheer morbid stupidity. You voted for what's happening to you. And now, on the verge of you losing everything, you demand that the government give you a handout after you just voted for them to get rid of all the social safety nets because of the freeloaders. And that's the issue with you dumb fucks, is that you think this country is for you. You think the Constitution is for you. You think Everything is for you, and no one else deserves anything. If someone else loses their job or their health care, gets sick, fuck you, eat shit, I don't care. That's your fucking attitude. That's what you say to these people, to everyone. But when you fucking need it, well, that's what it's for. It's your God-given right to receive handouts from the fucking government, isn't it? You fucking piece of shit. I'm gonna be honest, I hope you lose everything. I hope your entire life fucking crumbles around you, and there's nothing you can do about it. But, on the bright side, once you become homeless, you can just come join the rest of us in these fucking labor camps and gulags that they're setting up for the homeless people. Just come join us, it'll be fine. And also, we can probably re-gift you some thoughts and prayers that you guys have been throwing at us over the school shootings over the past, I don't know how many decades, because those don't do shit. If you want those back, you can have them back. Thoughts and prayers to you pieces of shit.
Under Joe Biden, farmers were given subsidies. Under Joe Biden, people had their student loans forgiven. Under Donald Trump, you've been imposed tariffs. Under Donald Trump, you've lost your workforce. Why did you vote for him? Because you didn't think it was going to happen to you. You didn't like people like me to get my student loans forgiven. Even though I, as a bleeding heart liberal, is A-OK, right on when you get a subsidy. Because I care about the whole world. And now you fucked yourself. And I admit a little part of me does have empathy for you because I'm a therapist and it's against my nature to not sympathize with my fellow human beings, but fuck you.
Here we go again. Another fuck around and find out moment. This one, Arkansas farmers. Yep, Arkansas farmers who voted overwhelmingly for President Trump. Well, here's a quote from one of those Arkansas farmers, and I'm going to do it in my best Arkansas accent. Right now, we're in a very dire situation. September is upon us. Harvest is starting in the deep south, and we have 0 bushels of soybeans on the books to be sold to China. Yeah, no shit. You voted for the tariff guy. And now, Arkansas farmers want a handout. They want federal assistance. This poor ass red state that votes Republican every freaking year. They want a handout. You damn socialists. I guess you're finding out that racism sure is expansive, huh? Fucking dumbasses.